Mom, it's no use begging on your knees now. My mother-in-law, collapsed on the cold marble floor, looked nothing like the woman she had been 30 minutes ago. The arrogance she had worn like a crown while casting me out, calling me a useless charity case, was gone. Now she was trembling, pleading for forgiveness. Amelia, Amelia, I was wrong. Please, just forgive me this one time. But my voice was ice. When you threw my apron out into the rain, did you ever think about what would happen next? No. My husband and my mother-in-law, who brought a mistress into our home and threw me out on my own birthday, the same day as our big family holiday, probably didn't know. But their arrogance always had a price. It took exactly 3 years to reclaim everything I had given up for the man I thought I truly loved. Your support and likes are the motivation that helps me create more stories. Today's story begins now. Hello, my name is Amelia Hayes. Today is my 35th birthday. I woke up at 4 a.m. to prepare the food for our 8th Thanksgiving dinner. Yes, the 8th. In my husband's family, we hosted Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, 8 major holiday meals a year. For his uncles, his aunts, his grandparents, the list went on. And I had to prepare everything by myself each time. My mother-in-law said it was the wife's duty. As I chopped vegetables on the cutting board, I thought about why I had hidden my identity and married into this family 3 years ago. I was so naive back then. I wanted a normal love. To be loved as Amelia Hayes, just a person. Hey, Amelia. The kitchen door swung open, and my mother-in-law, Eleanor Thompson, swept in. Seeing you up this early, with your hair all tied back, I assume you're expecting a lot of guests. You're not slacking off just because it's your birthday, are you? No, Mom. The pies are almost done, and the vegetables are prepped. My mother-in-law inspected every dish I had prepared. She peered closely at the tray of oysters. Where did you get these? She demanded. I got them from my family's place. Freshly shucked from Cape Cod. Showing off about your family again? What's so special about them? My heart sank for a moment. My mother-in-law knew nothing about my parents. Even my husband, Michael, didn't understand the full picture. I had only told him I was an ordinary office worker. Mom, I just wanted to prepare the meal with the best ingredients. With all my heart, with all your heart, you'll pass it down to the next generation. That again. It was my mother-in-law's constant refrain. You've been married for 3 years and still no news of a child. Michael must be so disappointed. I was the one who was disappointed. My husband hadn't been home in weeks. How were we supposed to have a child? Lately, we barely saw each other once a week. Mom, do you know where Michael is? He didn't come home last night either. He's busy. Why are you so nosy? Just stay at home and do your best. My mother-in-law sniffed as she picked up one of the oysters I had just arranged. I brought this for the holiday meal. But you didn't buy this at the supermarket, did you? Don't put on airs. I was furious, but I held it in. I had been holding it in for 3 years. I just needed to hold it in for one more day. But 8 a.m. came, and my husband still hadn't returned. I called him, but his phone went straight to voicemail. My mother-in-law glared at me, as if looking for something to criticize. You should take better care of your husband. A man needs a reason to want to come home. A reason was a wife who woke up at 4 a.m. to single-handedly prepare a feast for the 8th time, not reason enough. I nearly cried as I placed another pie in the oven. It was my birthday, but I had to cook and eat my own celebratory breakfast alone, and I didn't even know where my husband was. This was not the normal married life I had dreamed of 3 years ago. Amelia, hurry up and clean before the guests arrive. I snapped back to reality at the sound of my mother-in-law's voice from the living room. Yes, I just had to endure today. But I didn't know how much longer I could endure. I thought to myself, staring at the cold bowl of oatmeal in the corner of the kitchen. How long do I have to live like this? Would things change if I told them who I really was? But I didn't know then. Today would truly be my last day. After finishing the meal preparations, I went up to my room for a moment. As I stood in front of the mirror, smoothing my messy hair, I saw the refrigerator. On its door was a large label, Property of Eleanor Thompson. That's right. The refrigerator I had brought as part of my dowry bore my mother-in-law's name. I was truly shocked when I first saw it. The washing machine, the air conditioner, even the dresser I was using, all had Eleanor Thompson labels. "What are these, Mom?" When I asked, my mother-in-law answered as if it were obvious. "I bought it with my son's money, so it's mine. Of course, it should have my name on it." It was absurd. I had bought them with my own savings, so why did they have her name on them? But I held it in back then, too. We were newlyweds, and I thought it would be impolite to argue. As time went on, the labels multiplied. Small stickers were placed on the dishes I brought from my parents' house, the picture frames I was given as gifts, and even the clothes in my closet. All of them had "Property of E. Thompson" written on them. "Amelia, what are you sneaking around for again?" The door burst open, and my mother-in-law came in. She was holding my journal. "Mom, that's my private journal. There are no secrets in this house. Shouldn't I know what my daughter-in-law is thinking and how she's living?" My mother-in-law opened my journal. In it, I had written about how much I missed my husband and the pressure I felt from my in-laws. "Hey, what's this? Michael came home late again today. When did he become so distant?" My mother-in-law read my journal out loud. My face turned beet red. A daughter-in-law writing a diary about her husband. That's what an educated person would do. "Mom, I was just trying to sort out my feelings. Treat your husband well. Why are you complaining in a diary?" Then my mother-in-law checked my phone. "Who did you call?" "Oh, just a friend." What kind of friends can a married woman have? The family comes first now. Actually, I called my dad. I was having a hard time. I wanted to be comforted. But I couldn't say that to my mother-in-law. "Amelia, are you having any financial dealings with your family?" "Yes." "What are you talking about? Doesn't your family give you an allowance every month, or do they send money to your account?" I broke out in a cold sweat. The truth was, my parents sent me living expenses every month, but if my mother-in-law found out how much it would be a disaster. "No, Mom, I'm just living on my own earnings." "That's good. A married woman shouldn't be dependent on her parents." My mother-in-law opened my closet. Of course, there were labels on it too. "All these clothes have my name on them. Of course, everything in this house is mine." At that moment, I felt so sad. What in this house was mine? Nothing. Even I felt like I only existed as the daughter-in-law of a powerful man. "Amelia, if you have guests today, treat them well. In particular, you are absolutely not to trust your older brother-in-law and his wife. Understood?" "Yes, Mom. And don't go into detail about your background. Just say you came from an ordinary family." It was strange. Why was she so intent on hiding my origins? Did my mother-in-law know something? "Mom, is there something about my family?" "Why? What do you mean?" "No." My mother-in-law just put her hand on my shoulder and said, "Amelia, you are one of us now. Forget the past and live as a member of our family. Understood?" I almost felt a warmth from her hand, but when I heard her next words, my whole body went cold. But when am I ever going to get news of a grandchild? Our Michael is disappointed too. In the end, I was just a baby-making machine. My name, my past, my feelings, all covered up by labels, and I was just supposed to live as a tool for her son. As she left, I looked at the label on the refrigerator one last time. The words Eleanor Thompson were particularly large. I didn't know it then. Those labels would later become poison. At 2 p.m., the Thanksgiving dinner finally began. Nearly 20 people, including uncles, aunts, and cousins, had gathered. I was in the kitchen doing the final preparations when I heard a strange sound at the door. It was the sound of high heels, but all the women in my family wore comfortable shoes for holiday gatherings. Who could it be? "Oh, it's Michael." I heard my aunt's happy voice. I quickly straightened my apron, thinking my husband was finally home, but something strange happened. A woman's voice also rang out. "Hello. It's so nice to meet you." It was a clear, sweet voice. I peeked through the crack in the door into the living room, and in that moment, my world fell apart. My husband, Michael, was walking in, holding a woman's hand, and that woman had a very large, pregnant belly. The woman was beautiful and young. She looked to be around 25 or 26, wearing a splendid dress, and her belly was truly prominent. When did this start? Something like this had started without me even realizing it. "Everyone, let me introduce you," Michael said, looking at his relatives. His expression was unlike anything I had ever seen before. He looked so happy. "This is Jessica." Michael then gently patted the woman's belly. "And we have a precious child here, who will carry on our family's legacy." In that moment, the living room fell silent. My relatives looked surprised, but what was more shocking was my mother-in-law's reaction. "Oh my Jessica, you've had a hard day." My mother-in-law warmly welcomed the woman named Jessica. It was as if she had known all along. "Mom, thank you for inviting me on such an important occasion." "What?" "Of course, you are now a precious person in our family." Precious? Then what was I? What had I become as the daughter-in-law of this house for 3 years? As I listened from behind the kitchen door, trembling, my uncle cautiously asked, "But Michael, where's Amelia?" "Oh, Amelia?" Michael mentioned my name for the first time, but the way he said it made me feel like Amelia was so useless, right? Useless? She's useless. Now that I have Jessica, it's fine. She's the one I truly love, and she's giving me a child. My heart ached. What had I been living for these past 3 years? What had I done when I woke up at 4 a.m., prepared holiday meals, and lived with my mother-in-law? Then my mother-in-law said, "Everyone, our family line will not be broken. Jessica is pregnant with a son." "Mom, is that true?" "Yes." The hospital confirmed it, a healthy boy. My relatives were congratulating me. I sat and listened in the kitchen. The woman had given me the child I couldn't have for 3 years. I couldn't take it anymore, so I left the kitchen. I tried to compose myself as I walked out into the living room, but my legs were shaking. "Oh, Amelia's here." Michael saw me and said with a cold expression, "What are you doing? Is the food ready?" "Yes, it's ready." That was it. No greeting, no apology, just a question about whether the food was ready. The woman named Jessica looked me up and down and smiled faintly. "Oh, is this Michael's ex-wife?" "She's not my ex-wife. She's just not settled yet." "You say she's not settled?" "I'm the subject." "Amelia, bring out the food." My mother-in-law called for me. I went into the kitchen like a robot and brought out the holiday dishes, the beautifully prepared pies, the meticulously crafted side dishes. But as I placed them on the table, tears welled up in my eyes. Who would eat this food? My husband and the woman who had taken my place. When the dinner began, my mother-in-law paid special attention to Jessica and said, "Jessica, these oysters were prepared just for you. They say it's good for the unborn baby." I brought those oysters from my parents' house. I had prepared them for my birthday. "Amelia, you should go to the kitchen and wash the dishes." I was the daughter-in-law, and my mother-in-law was telling me to wash dishes in the kitchen. What about Jessica? Was she a guest? I looked back as I returned to the kitchen. Michael was rubbing Jessica's belly and smiling. When was the last time I had seen that smile? I suddenly realized I had become invisible in this house. It wasn't until late in the evening that all the relatives left. I spent the whole day in the kitchen, washing dishes and cleaning up. Even though it was my birthday, I didn't hear a single happy birthday, let alone a birthday cake. In the living room, only Michael, his mother, and the woman named Jessica remained. I could only overhear their conversation while washing the last of the dishes. "Jessica, this house feels like my own now. Thank you, Mom. It really feels like a dream." "It's not a dream. You are now the real daughter-in-law of our family." The real daughter-in-law? Did that mean I was a fake daughter-in-law before? "Michael, what are we going to do with Amelia now?" My heart sank at my mother-in-law's words. "You mean Amelia's problem is because of me?" "Oh, is that so?" "I've already consulted with a lawyer." "You mean a divorce?" "Yes, it'll be simple. There will be no division of assets and no alimony." "No division of assets? How much money did I put into this house? The training costs alone were worth hundreds of millions. Well done. And what can you give to a woman who can't even afford to pay?" Jessica giggled at my mother-in-law's words. "But where will Amelia live and what will she do?" I wondered. I guess she'll go back to her parents, or maybe she should get a job somewhere, or something. Although I didn't know who I was, Michael stood up and came into the kitchen with an envelope. Amelia, wait. Yes, here's your signature. It was the divorce papers. Michael's side was all signed, leaving only my signature. Why so suddenly? When did we get married? Our relationship is over. Our relationship is over? What have I been doing for the past 3 years? Michael, what did I say wrong? Michael's voice was cold. Are you asking for a division of assets? Are you asking for alimony? No, that's not it. Then what? Oh, are you jealous of Jessica? Jealous? A betrayed wife is jealous? No. It's just so sudden. What's so sudden? You must have noticed, right? You want me to notice? When did I notice? I was just doing housework from morning to night, every day. My mother-in-law and Jessica came into the kitchen. Amelia, hurry up and sign. It's all over, Mom. What kind of mom? You should call me by my name now. By my name. I've been calling you Mom for 3 years, Amelia. I'm sorry too, Jessica said, stroking her belly. But love is something you can't help. Michael and I are truly in love. True love? Is an affair true love? And this baby looks just like Michael. Even when I saw the ultrasound photos, my mind went blank at that moment. I couldn't take it anymore. I'm not signing. Michael looked at me with a surprised expression. I'm not signing the divorce papers. I'm not ready. Hey, is this woman for real? Then my mother-in-law turned to me and said, Hey, Amelia Hayes, what are you doing? Just sign the papers and get out. Get out? Me, get out? You, a useless charity case, what are you doing here? Pack your things and get out. My mother-in-law untied her apron and threw it on the floor. Then she said, This apron has my name on it. Don't take it. It started to rain. It was pouring. Get out, right now. Michael threw the front door open. The cold wind and raindrops flooded the kitchen. What luggage? You didn't bring anything. We bought it all with our money, so there's nothing for you to take. Really? You mean I didn't bring anything? I went out into the rain barefoot. The door slammed shut behind me. Then I heard the laughter of my mother-in-law and Jessica. Ha ha ha. That's so refreshing, Mom. Now it's really our house. Our house. The house I had lovingly built for the past 3 years. The rain soaked me. The cold raindrops ran down my face. Or were they tears? With trembling hands, I took out my phone. I dialed a number I had never called before. Hello, Dad. Amelia. Why are you calling at this hour? Dad, come and get me. Now, I'm done. I hung up and looked up at the sky. It was really raining. It was as if the sky was crying for me. Then I saw the headlights of a car in the distance. And it wasn't just one. Several black SUVs were approaching. Now it was really over. 3 years of patience, and the days of living as the daughter-in-law of a powerful man in Amelia. Everyone, what do you think of the story so far? Are you really angry? My heart ached as I listened to the story. I wondered how much Amelia had suffered for the past 3 years. But everyone, it's not over yet. The real turning point is just beginning. Are you curious about what will happen to those arrogant people? Then, everyone, please continue to listen to the next story. The next morning, at 10 a.m., I was in the executive office on the 40th floor of the HC Group headquarters in Manhattan, New York. I stood in front of the mirror, neatly combing my hair. Yesterday's shabby, worn-out daughter-in-law's outfit was gone. Now it was a black power suit, high heels, and even the diamond necklace my father had left me. This was my true self. Ma'am, Mrs. Rossi has arrived. The secretary announced over the intercom. Yes, Mrs. Rossi. She was the only one I really opened up to at the market. She may have looked like just another old lady at a snack shop, but she was actually a local institution, having lived here for 30 years. I invited her in. The old lady was startled when she entered. Oh my, Amelia, is that you? Yes, ma'am, please sit down. The old lady still looked surprised, even as she sipped the tea I had prepared. By the way, do you know where this is? It's the HC Group, one of the largest conglomerates in the country. I know. This is my father's company. My grandmother nearly choked on her tea. What did you say? Your father? Yes, Harrison Hayes, the chairman of HC Group, is my father. My grandmother was silent for a long time. It was understandable. The ordinary daughter-in-law she had met at the market for the past 3 years had suddenly become the daughter of a tycoon. So why did you go through so much hardship and want to experience a normal love? I wanted to be loved for who I am, Amelia Hayes, not for my status. My grandmother squeezed my hand. Well, you've had a hard time. We exchanged greetings and began to talk in earnest. Ma'am, do you have the documents I asked for? Of course, I do. But I was really surprised. I didn't expect Jessica to be that kind of woman. She took out a thick file. It was full of Jessica's old records. This is already the 3rd time this woman has approached married men. She's the type of person who does it 3 times. That's right. The first time was with the owner of a chicken restaurant in Dallas, and the second time was with the owner of a coffee shop in Atlanta. She said she was pregnant and extorted money from both of them, but then she said she had a miscarriage. It was truly shocking. And Jessica is pregnant too. Ma'am, I have to check if there's something wrong with this pregnancy too, but I'm suspicious. Looking at her medical records for the past 2 years, there's something strange about this pregnancy. My grandmother showed me another document. And look at this. Before Lee Yan met your husband, she was living with another man. Another man? That's right. A man who runs an entertainment establishment in Las Vegas. He's over 50, and the details just kept getting more and more surprising. Jessica was not the innocent secretary I thought she was. She had meticulously planned to infiltrate our family. Amelia, what are you going to do now? I'm going to get revenge, Grandma. When I said it firmly, my grandmother looked worried. Revenge is easy. Isn't it better to just get a divorce and start over? No. I'm going to have to pay the price for ignoring you like that. I showed my grandmother the papers on the table. Do you know who the largest shareholder of Thompson Construction is? Well, I don't. It's HC Distribution, one of our affiliates. My grandmother's eyes widened. So it's true? Yes. The construction company that Michael has been bragging about all this time was actually run with my father's money. I took out a pen and signed the document. This document stated that I was suspending all financial support to Thompson Construction through HC. Amelia, are you sure you're okay with that? It's okay, Grandma. Now it's time to tell her who I am. After signing, I called the secretary. Send this document to Thompson Construction immediately, and inform the relevant departments to stop all transactions today. Yes, ma'am. After the secretary left, my grandmother cautiously asked, Amelia, do you really not regret it? You must have had feelings for her for the past 3 years. Feelings? I looked out the window and said, Grandma, when I woke up at 4 a.m. On my birthday to prepare the 8th Thanksgiving meal, my husband was at a hotel with another woman. My grandmother sighed. And my mother-in-law put labels on everything I brought. The refrigerator, the washing machine, even my closet. I showed her another document on the table. Now it's my turn to put on the labels. It contained a plan to acquire Thompson Construction. If it goes bankrupt, we'll buy it for a song. So Michael will become an employee of your company. She laughed wryly. What a scary child. Grandma, I've endured enough for 3 years. Now it's my turn. Just then, the secretary rushed in. Director, we're getting a lot of calls from Thompson Construction. Really? I laughed. My vacation came sooner than I thought. Don't answer the phone. Just don't answer today. Yes, Director. She stood up and said, Amelia, be careful. Revenge is like a knife. It can hurt you too. I know, Grandma, but I've been hurt enough. After seeing her off, I looked out the window again. Somewhere down there, Michael must be panicking. This is where it really begins. At 3 p.m. that day, the Thompson Construction headquarters was in complete chaos. I was watching from inside my car. In front of the company, material suppliers had gathered and were protesting. They had even put up banners that read, "Pay me. Stop scamming me." Michael was in the company, unable to leave. My phone rang. It was Michael, but I didn't answer. 10 minutes later, it rang again. This time, it was my mother-in-law. I didn't answer either. But an hour later, I received a call from my grandmother. Amelia, we're in trouble. What's going on, Grandma? Jessica is packing her things and trying to run away. What? She's on her way to JFK Airport now, carrying 2 huge suitcases. What a professional. If something bad happens, she'll run away immediately. Grandma, I'll be right there. I told the driver to go to JFK. An hour later, I found Jessica in the airport plaza. She was indeed carrying 2 huge suitcases. I got out of the car and approached Jessica. Where are you going? Jessica turned around in surprise. Oh, Amelia. Yes, it's been a while. Jessica's face turned pale. Amelia, why are you here? I'm curious. Where are you going? At that moment, Jessica touched her belly and said, Oh, I'm going to see my parents for a bit. Your parents' house? But why are you carrying such a big bag? Jessica started to stammer. I was just thinking of staying for a while. Oh, really? By the way, does Michael know? You're leaving? Jessica shook her head vaguely. No. I'll be back soon. Just then, my grandmother appeared from behind me. Oh my, who is this? Isn't it Jessica? She smiled at Jessica. Grandma, do you know this person? I asked deliberately, and she laughed out loud. So you don't know? This girl is the famous Black Widow in our neighborhood. Jessica's face turned even paler. What did you call her? She said Black Widow. She only picks married men. My grandmother took a document from her bag. It's all here. What you did to the chicken restaurant owner in Dallas. What you did to the coffee shop owner in Atlanta. Jessica backed away. That's not it. It's not? Every time you said you were pregnant, you had a miscarriage when you got the money. She showed me another document. And look at this. Before you dated Michael, you were living with another man in Las Vegas, right? Jessica was completely flustered. Oh, no, that's not it. Then what is it? What is this picture? She showed me a picture on her phone. It was a picture of Jessica with a middle-aged man. Who is this man? He's just an acquaintance of mine. Jessica's voice grew smaller and smaller. Amelia, really? I spoke up then. Jessica, I have a question for you. Jessica looked at me with anxious eyes. Is that baby really Michael's? Jessica was speechless. I could tell just by her expression. You don't have to answer. I already know the answer. I took out my phone and called someone. Hello. Michael, is that you? Yes, it's Amelia. I could hear Michael's desperate voice over the phone. Amelia, where are you? Let's talk. Talk? I'm at JFK Airport, and Jessica is here too. What? Why is Jessica there? I could feel Michael panicking. She seems to be going somewhere with 2 huge suitcases. What did she say? Oh, and I also wanted to talk about the billion-dollar baby Jessica is carrying. The phone went silent. Michael, have you ever had a DNA test? What do you mean? Oh, you haven't? Then you should get one. The results will be interesting. And I hung up. Jessica's face was cracking. Amelia, please, please, what's wrong? Don't be like this. I pointed to Jessica's bag. What's in that bag? Clothes. Just clothes. She opened the bag. Inside was not only clothes, but also a bundle of cash. What's this money? It's just for living expenses. It's a lot. It must be tens of thousands of dollars. Jessica couldn't make any more excuses. I'll say it one last time. Jessica, the game is over. Michael will soon find out the truth, and so will his mother. Jessica fell to her knees. Amelia, please forgive me. I was trying to make a living. Then what was I? I endured for 3 years just to make a living. Then Michael's car appeared from a distance. He must have been driving very fast. Now things were going to get really interesting. The next morning, 11 a.m., in the hallway in front of the chairman's office of the HC Group, I arrived early and had already spoken with my father. Amelia, are you sure you're okay? Yes, Dad. It's time to end it. My father held my hand tightly. You've worked hard, my daughter. Around 11 a.m., Michael and his mother, Eleanor Thompson, arrived. They both looked unusual. Michael was wearing a shabby suit, and his mother, instead of her usual fancy tea ceremony attire, was wearing a black dress. We have an appointment with the chairman, Michael said to the receptionist. His voice was trembling. Yes, please wait a moment. They waited for 30 minutes, During those 30 minutes, Michael and his mother were still anxious. "Michael, are you sure you're okay?" "It'll be fine, Mom. Because I've been doing business with the HC Group for a long time." "Doing business," he said. He had no idea who he owed that contract to. "But what happened to Jessica yesterday?" "I don't know. She just disappeared." Michael's face darkened. "I guess he checked the DNA test results with So-yoon yesterday." Finally, the secretary appeared. "Park Sung-jun, CEO of Thompson Construction, Miss Kwon Hakja, and the chairman would like to see you." The two of them opened the chairman's office door with trembling hands. I was already sitting in the executive's chair, next to my father. Michael and his mother came in and bowed to my father. "Good morning, Chairman. This is Michael Thompson from Thompson Construction." My mother-in-law, who had been doing business with the HC Group for a long time, was about to greet me when she suddenly stopped. She saw me. Oh, Michael recognized me too. They both turned pale. "Amelia, why are you here?" Then my father spoke up. "Allow me to introduce myself. This is my daughter, Amelia Hayes, the executive director at HC Group." The chairman's office became silent. You could almost hear a pin drop. "What did you say?" Michael asked again. "My daughter, Amelia, is the executive director at HC Group." My mother-in-law suddenly stumbled. She tried to sit down but ended up falling to the floor. Michael's mother-in-law supported her. But she kept looking at me and muttering, "No, no, this can't be happening." I slowly stood up and approached them. "Hello, Mom." My mother-in-law looked at me, stammering. "Amelia, didn't you tell me this 3 years ago?" Michael said hastily. "I wanted to experience a normal love." "Amelia, I'm sorry. I really didn't know." "You didn't know this?" I went back to my desk and took out the documents. "You didn't know that HC Distribution was the largest investor in Thompson Construction? Because they received a total of $50 million in investment over the past 3 years, and you didn't know." Michael's jaw dropped. "So all that money was from my father. To be exact, it was an investment that I approved." My mother-in-law got on her knees and crawled towards me. "Amelia, Amelia? You were mistaken. I really didn't know." I looked down at my mother-in-law and said, "Mom, was it because I didn't know that you put your name on the water heater? Was it because I didn't know that you threw my apron out in the rain?" My mother-in-law started to cry. "Amelia, please, please, forgive me." Michael also got on his knees. "Amelia, I'm so sorry. Let's start over. Can't we start over?" "Start over? Michael, what about the DNA test results from yesterday?" Michael's face turned even paler. "It was my fault. The baby Jessica was carrying was not Michael's." Michael couldn't answer. "And where did Jessica go?" It was only then, after all the money was gone, that Michael realized everything. I pulled out another document to show him how foolish he had been. "Thompson Construction will be acquired by the HC Group starting tomorrow." Well, an acquisition is the only way to avoid bankruptcy. My mother-in-law cried even louder. "Amelia, our house in Chicago is probably going to be auctioned off." My mother-in-law was about to collapse because of the mortgage in my name. "So how are we supposed to live?" I showed her the last document. "Michael, you can join our company as an entry-level employee with a monthly salary of about $2,500. Michael looked at me with a desperate expression. "Amelia, do you really have to go this far?" "This far?" I looked at them coldly. "Mom, just yesterday you were calling me a useless charity case." My mother-in-law couldn't say anything more. "Now all the words you said to me will be replaced by me." The arrogance of 30 minutes ago was gone, and only misery remained. 6 months later, I found 2001 again, but the once glorious house had now become someone else's. A new owner had moved in and was completely renovating it. I walked towards the market, towards Mrs. Rossi's diner. I saw her from a distance, and there was someone washing dishes next to her. I looked closer and saw that it was Eleanor Thompson. Her former glamorous appearance was gone, and she was washing dishes in a worn-out apron. "Oh, Amelia," she said. "Hello, ma'am." Eleanor Thompson saw me too, but she was no longer cheerful or arrogant. She just quietly bowed her head. "Amelia, come and sit down." She brought a chair for her. Eleanor Thompson continued to wash the dishes. "Ma'am, How have you been? I've been well. Well, how have you been? I said as I bought her a coffee. Yes, everything is fine. I can focus on my work now. My grandmother finished talking to Eleanor Thompson and said in a small voice, "That person has changed a lot. What can you do? He's not as arrogant as he used to be, and works very hard. He used to nag, but now he just does as I say." Eleanor Thompson finished washing the dishes and came over. Amelia. Her voice had changed a lot. It was no longer the cheerful singing voice of that day, but a low, tired voice. Yes, Mom. When I called her Mom, tears welled up in Eleanor Thompson's eyes. Amelia, I was really wrong. I must have been crazy then. How could I have done that? Eleanor Thompson sat across from me. His hands were very rough. I haven't been able to sleep for days since I found out who you were. What did I do wrong? Mom, those labels, they must have hurt you a lot. Eleanor Thompson bowed her head. Amelia, I have one last request. Please tell me anything. That fool Michael. Can't you forgive him? I thought for a moment. Michael was currently working as an entry-level employee at the HC Group. He took the subway to work every day and lived in a small room. Mom, how is Michael doing now? He's changed a lot. A lot. I quit drinking, came home early, and even wrote a letter of self-reflection. A letter of self-reflection. I wrote to you every day. I didn't send it, but I wrote about the mistakes I made. Yeah, a letter. My grandmother sent it. Amelia. But what are you going to do from now on? I don't have any plans to start over. A new start? Yeah. I met someone new, got married, and looked up at the sky. There were clouds floating in the blue sky. I don't have any plans yet. The work is interesting. It really is. Being an executive director at HC Group is much more interesting. My opinions are respected, my decisions are reflected in the company, and above all, I can live as myself. And Grandma, I'm going to start a charitable foundation. A charitable foundation? Yes. A foundation to help women who are struggling like I was. She clapped her hands in approval. That's a great idea. What are you going to name it? The Amelia Hayes Foundation. Eleanor Thompson raised her head. Amelia, will that name help you? What should I do? I can talk about my mistakes and what not to do to other daughters-in-law. I looked at Eleanor Thompson. She had really changed. Mom, are you really going to do that? Yes. Other mothers-in-law shouldn't do what I did. Then my phone rang. It was a call for an important meeting at the company. Grandma, Mom, I'll be going now. Yeah, okay. Be careful. And before I got in the car, I looked at Eleanor Thompson one last time. Mom, take care of yourself from now on. Amelia, you should be happy too. As the car started to move, I saw Eleanor Thompson 100 meters away. She was waving her hand, not with her former arrogance, but just like a normal grandmother. On my way to New York, I received a text from Michael. Amelia, I wrote to you again today. One day, I'll have the courage to send it. It's okay if you don't forgive me. I'm just trying to sort out my feelings, so please take care of yourself. I could see the autumn sky outside the window. It was blue and high, just like my heart. 3 years ago, I didn't get the ordinary love I had dreamed of, but I found myself. I could now live as Amelia Hayes, not as a power broker. And now, I was going to help other women live by their real names, just like I did. It started to rain, but this time, I watched the rain warmly from inside the car. It was completely different from the day I was kicked out in the rain. Now, I felt truly free. What did you all think of today's story? Wasn't it truly refreshing? Listening to Amelia's story, I felt both heartbroken and exhilarated. Amelia's patience in hiding her identity for 3 long years was admirable, but it shows that patience always has a limit. People like Eleanor Thompson and Michael don't try to see the real person, but only judge them based on their own prejudices and stereotypes. They treat them rudely just because they are daughters-in-law, just because they are women. But in the end, they pay the price for their arrogance. Don't these things happen around us? From in-law conflicts to indifference in the family, to unfair treatment at work. Many people, like Amelia, are enduring and living their lives. But the most important thing in today's story is not revenge, but finding oneself. Amelia was able to live by her real name, Amelia Hayes, instead of the title of a power broker. She also felt the desire to help other women. Everyone faces many choices in life: to endure or to confront, to hide or to reveal. Amelia ultimately made her choice, and as a result, she found true freedom. I hope that today's story will give you a little comfort and wisdom. And if any of you are facing difficult situations, I hope you can believe that your own moment of reversal will come one day. Please subscribe and like the video.